Hello, hello, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV with me. I guess you could call me Mid-Boss. Or Vire, or Alex. It's up to you. Or fucking Train Robber Clyde, I don't give a damn. Who's even watching my Let's Play other than Colby? and myself actually. I tend to watch it sometimes if I feel like I did a good episode. And my brother is slowly watching it. He refuses to watch further than his current playthrough's alt, though. He's doing a second full playthrough, and he's taking his ever-loving time. It's kind of a cool umbrella. Kind of a really hot Hotlander. Well, I'd hit on her if I wasn't doing a Let's Play right now. Probably a guy. But you know, there's tons of girls who play this game, and there's also tons of trans girls, and trans men, and gay girls, and bi women, and all sorts of people. Someone I used to raid with was like a 46-year-old guy that worked for IBM, and he would never stop talking about taking a big old dick in his butt. Anywho, that has nothing to do with the story at all. Sorry, I get distracted easily. Maybe you figured that out by now. So Fordola's here. Well, it probably is, you Thimbleton. I like Fordola. She's straight and to the point. She also makes me think I should change Clyde's hair and make it brighter red, more ginger. Oh snap. It's your boy Arnvolt, who happens to be voiced by the same guy who voices Ardbert.
Arenvold! I can't tell you how good it is to see you.
I looked up Alphino's voice actor recently. He looks like a guy I could go to lunch with. Like, not on like a date or anything, but I don't know. I just like, he's got like kind of face that says like, you know, he would sit down with you at like, you know, for like a club sandwich with some Fritos or something. Like, I don't know, and it would be a good time.
It arrived a lot sooner than expected, eh? The day I craned my neck up at you.
I wouldn't really call that craning, but yeah, sure, whatever. Interesting wheelchair design there. Kind of reminds me of the one from the ending of Bloodborne, except none of the wheelchairs in Bloodborne have wicker backs.
Only because you're sitting down. Unless...
Afraid so. The chirurgeons say I may never walk again.
So you have a spinal injury, right? It's not that your wrapped up foot is all that's preventing you from walking, right? You'd have crutches otherwise, right?
Come on, Alfino, it could be worse. Besides, I didn't come here to dampen the mood. Quite the opposite. All I've ever wanted was to fight for a cause I believe in. But my fighting days are over. So I want you to fight in my stead. Be the hero I can't.
I am no hero.
That's what they all say, though. No one ever calls themselves a hero. Even the ones who eat primals for breakfast. It's for others to decide. Look, Alfino. You already are a hero. To me and countless others. We see you doing your damnedest to protect us all. And you're not alone, are you? There are people who believe in you, just as you believe in them.
That first line is reminiscent of Firefly, the episode where that their old war buddy. It's like when you can't walk, you crawl, and when you can't crawl, you find someone to carry you. We don't gotta carry his dream yet.
I know what's at stake, and how many people are depending on you. But I believe in you. Believe that you'll see it through. That's why I'm entrusting my dreams to you. Like Albert and Owley once entrusted their dreams to me.
They kind of died though when they did that.
There was a time when I would have borne the weight of such expectations without a second thought. But now, I know just how heavy that burden can be. To tell the truth, I'm beginning to wonder if I chose the right path. Sacrifices will inevitably be made for the sake of the ideals I uphold.
They already have been. Stop being a wuss. You grew past this like fucking years ago, man.
Maybe I am not the person I thought I was. The person you think I am.
You have literally fought an elder being to the death.
I wouldn't presume to tell you. But I will say this. In spite of everything, you've come this far. The road ahead might not always be clear, but you've never been one to give up or take the easy way out. And everything you do for others. For a brighter future. I'm proud to call you my friend. Well, I've said my piece, so I'll let you go. I know you've got more important things to be doing. Just give what I've said some thought, all right?
I shall, my friend. And we will meet again soon, I promise.
Of all this fist clenching that Alphino does, it makes me think that the dev team's just like listening to what's that song by the Killers? There's a line in it that goes, the moments that left me white knuckled. You get white knuckled when you clench your fist. But then also the Arthur meme where Arthur has his fist clenched so much it like screams that to me. This is the first time we've seen a wheelchair in the game, though, isn't it?
Nothing left for me to do but wave and smile.
You've got a pretty narrow view of what it means to be a hero, do you know that? You think they're all forged in the fires of battle? That it's all about being brave and killing villains? Alphino and the others will carry on their fight. But theirs isn't the only one. There are other ways you can make a difference. If you stop feeling sorry for yourself and put your bloody mind to it.
There's not much chance of me living the quiet life with you around, is there?
If you're content to twiddle your thumbs thinking of what might have been, that's your lookout. But I reckon you've got some fight left in you.
And I reckon you might be right. If there's a way I can still help my friends, I'll bloody well find it.
Gets his own fist clench. Uh-oh, we got an instance battle. How about that? If I had to guess, I'd say they were going to Cartno to procure more Magitech or etherochemical, whatever, Allegan tech to bolster their Tilo tech or whatever. 'Cause there's tons of that shit there. Plus there's stuff related to Omega. Upon joining the battle at Cartino, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to participate in the battle and view these scenes in their entirety. Your progress through the battle will be saved at certain points. In the event that you are defeated, you will be able to try again from the most recent of these. Please note that if you enter battles associated with other quests or log out from the game, this progress will be lost. So if you disconnect, you're boned, bitch! It's not that bad though, it's like, oh, you'll see.
My fellow Scions, as I am sure you will have heard, we can expect no help from Charlian, nor are we any closer to discerning the Telophoroid's grand design. And now, our adversary moves against us in unprecedented numbers, compelling us to answer in kind. The outlook, in short, is bleak. Yet though our foes are many, and we but few, we may still tip the balance in Eorzea's favor.
Of course. We will do what we always do. Deal with the ones our allies can't. A less than daunting prospect, judging by your expression. Could it be that you've dispelled your lingering doubts, Alphino?
Oh, I doubt I ever will. But as my friends have kindly reminded me, I have come this far, and that must count for something.
God be good, Alphino. That's what we've been trying to tell you all along.
All along when? Like, he hasn't really been having this sort of crisis very long at all.
For one so bright, you can be remarkably dim at times. There is such a thing as overthinking, you know.
Okay, that line's warranted.
Might I suggest that we continue this conversation after the battle? It would appear that Telophoroi have already arrived.
I'll do what I can to cure the Tempered, but they'll have to be incapacitated first.
Have care, my friends, for none can say wherefore our foe did choose this fateful field to be our battleground. Whatever may transpire, pray grant him not the pleasure of deterring you.
yourself.
Wish I had a diamond carbuncle. That's south. Okay. Hey, it's Lucia. We can have a look around the battlefield if we want. Look at that Zundu just fucking 1v1ing that. Okay, I guess he's not. He's got some. Oh, he's got a Nath with him. Seems like quite the chaotic battle here. Hard to tell friend from foe. As the Scions spread out across the field, Alisei and Goraha take the fight to the Telafuru. Man, they killed those guys wicked fast. Defeat the enemy forces. And we are in control of Alisei. I wonder if this is a preview to the next Red Mage skills.
Just the beginning.
Right behind you.
Yeah, something like that. Hey, wait a minute, he just changed jobs on the fly. So the Warrior Light's not the only one who can do that. There's Fandango, just floating up there. Does that look familiar to you? Don't think I've seen anything like that. The flats conceal an etheric confluence, like to the pillars of the Azim Steppe, but greater in scale. Far greater. Hmm. Protect the confluence, huh? Very well. Defeat Lunar Odin. We Urianger now. I love the Odin music. Focus target. And help out Cat Lady.
I shall protect thee.
Helps that I already know. I mean, they're renamed, but you know, you can if you play Ast, you can recognize what these are.
May the 12 guide
Duty fail. Oh, I let Thancred die. Whoops. Well. Well. Oof. My bad, viewer. I wasn't respecting mechanics. Of course, I don't remember really having to respect mechanics. I remember Thancred healing himself with like potions when I did it on my main. I'm a scrub! Can we get right to the Odin Lunar fight? I don't want to like rewatch what we've already watched, right? There we go. Okay.
protect thee.
My turn!
May the 12 guide you.
Oh, wait, right. My bad.
Away with you!
I am so bad at paying attention to Thancred.
Best defense is a good defense!
Yay! I didn't scrub it up that time. His Zantetsuken was gray, kind of like Raiden's in the Valdesian arsenal. Ooh. Grahatia, huh? On his Black Mage? Or Black Mage, White Mage combo, I guess. Very well. Not really sure I understand his Black Mage rotation here. But I guess it's inaccurate to say that he's fully a Black Mage. It's more like Allegan Mage or something. Oh snap. Butterflies.
I have you now.
Not too bad, not too bad. See, like his Fire 4 highlights, normal Black Mage doesn't do that. Like, I don't really get it, but you know, whatever. I can hear kobolds near the camera. Ooh, Alice did the thing again. Good job, Alice. At the self-same moment, you stand shoulder to shoulder with Alphino and Estinian. Resolve to lay the most boring of the lunar primals low. But I suppose we get to get revenge for our involved, so. You may have noticed none of these lunar primals have been doing their cleave moves. Except for Ravana, I guess. It sure is. The Echo's really beefed up our damage here. See, that normally has a knockback. That should have knocked it back. And he's not doing his Incinerate breath. Oh, come on! Yeah. Yay! Let's see if we can finish ours before Estinian finishes his. I kind of doubt it. Okay, well, almost. The game just is letting his auto attacks hit as hard as weapon skills. And I think his global is like 2 seconds flat on Dragoon, which is ridiculous. But, you know. Oh, Fandaniel. Your Ifrit doesn't even go invulnerable during Hellfire. Oh look at these again. There he goes. It's about fucking time. Yeah, they're still hitting him even though he's untargetable by me. Oh, that's a lot of nails. I don't think we can break this many nails. Well, we gotta try. Oh, that's a lot of... Dude! That was badass. Easy peasy. And Estinian really saved our bacon there. The game just ejects us into the Rising Stones. Spoiler alert, chat log.
And thus another plan went up in smoke. I am beginning to see why Lord Xenos thinks so highly of you. Not that this changes anything, you understand. You have merely earned yourself a stay of execution.
I don't know how many more times we're gonna kick his plans to the curb before we get to fight him. Trailer scene time?
Glory be to Garlemore.
Trailer scene time.
How fare the tempered?
We've treated as many as we can, but some were beyond help.
Do not hang your head so, brave Scions. Though not all of our captured brethren could be saved, we are grateful for those whose minds have been restored. You could do no more. and that is enough. So please hold your heads high.
I should have been quicker, but I'll do better next time. Thank you for your kind words. They mean a lot.
Success is not guaranteed, but improvement can be.
A victory at great cost, but a victory nonetheless. We must stay strong and press on. Isn't that right? To the very end.
It's an awfully big and bright, close moon. I wonder why Lise isn't here. I don't see her. Also, how come we're all decided to look at this fucking moon? I know it's, you know, reference to looking ahead to Endwalker, but and here we are, the final credits for Shadowbringers, and they will go on for a long ass time. There's some nice artwork we get to see here, and we can, you know, see who voice acts what in order from our localization to the other ones. Or actually, I guess it's just Japanese to English to French to German. Let's reflect on the Shadowbringers expansion, I suppose. It was definitely unexpected when it came out. Something that sort of, I don't know if it tripped up every single player, but it tripped up a lot of people. And I sure as hell didn't know where they were going after Stormblood. So it was kind of like a pleasant surprise, storyline-wise. But looking back on it, the post-Shadowbringers main story kind of felt like a shoddy mess, where they were changing their mind about what they were going to do with characters because they hadn't really planned it out ahead of time. You know, I know they say they work on, you know, expansions ahead of time, and they, you know, they get like the baseline expansion completely made, you know, before releasing it, as well as like the first patch or two. But I don't know, I just, you know, there's just, like, it's not that it made it bad, it just didn't seem entirely cohesive. You know, I can't even exactly remember what 5.1 and 5.2 were. I'm like, I want to say 5.1 was just going around and you know, helping Yulmore get back up and like sort of puttering around and looking for ways to help people on while we help ourselves, the Grand Cosmos and all of that with the Beg Luke and stuff. And then 5.2 was Elidibus taking over Ardbert's body and starting out the whole Warrior of Light escalation. 5.3 was that coming to a head and us killing Elidibus. And then, 5.4 was, well, and then going back home. And 5.4, I guess was like, we're home now, stuff's happening here. They introduced Fan Daniel, right? And then 5.5 was, Paglethan and this and the stuff that came before it. But I kind of feel like this portion right here, this 5.55, I feel like they sort of cut it because they could have released it all at 5.5 because this really wasn't that much story content for a full patch that had full story in it. So I also kind of feel like they took full advantage of the situation with the pandemic to sort of cut their workload back. And I know that sounds harsh to say, but a lot of companies have done it, right? Like, it did impact them, right? They had that whole 2-month delay, which honestly I didn't even feel, but before 5.3, and they said it would push everything back by 2 months and possibly greater. And that makes sense, but we still got less in the end. We got less content in Shadowbringers again than we got in Stormblood. And Stormblood, a big complaint about Stormblood was we got less content and worse quality content than what we got in Heaven's Word. And some people try to like snake away from that and say, oh, they just stopped giving us dungeons, that's all. And, it was just a little less dungeons. They said they were going to put the resources elsewhere into things like Eureka and all that. And, I don't see the return on investment there. Like, no offense, but, stuff like Eureka or Bosja, it's a big overworld content that, they just take the same monster and like copy paste it 20 times in a little area, then move to the next little quadrant and do it again and do it again and do it again. They're like, the zones are designed, but there's not that much to them. I feel like they always put more work into dungeons, and they don't want to do that content anymore because apparently the player base doesn't like it, because when Square had it in their mind that dungeons were going to basically be in-game training, more or less, and they were going to get harder and be challenging, the player base didn't like that either. So, But that's kind of another topic anyway. I don't know. All in all, though, I feel like Shadowbringers was overall a very good expansion. Very good storyline-wise. Definitely going to remember it as one of my favorite moments in gaming, or favorite time periods in gaming. Of course, I like Final Fantasy XIV in general and have for almost a decade now, so I mean, I'm going to remember the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV as one of my favorite gaming experiences anyway. But especially here at the end and this transition over to Endwalkers, I don't know, I feel like, Shadowbringers kind of like puttered out, like it stopped being as impactful as like 5.0, like pretty quickly, honestly. Like 5.1, 5.2, like there were things I was very curious about, but it was like the things I was actually curious about were like a drip feed. Oh, look at this asshole. Can't believe you made the credit sequence, you dickwad. Excuse me, I have to look away from the screen and think about something. I gotta think about puppies. But yeah, like villain Emmett Selk was amazing, but you know they got rid of him in 5.0. Elidibus to me felt like he was totally rewritten so that he could be basically written out of the story in a couple patches, so that he wouldn't be like dead weight or something, and they could add to the story they want to tell and what they want to get back to. As there seems to be this desire by the dev team to move away from sympathetic villains. Like they want Xenos, who's on the screen right now. They want us to fight him. They just want a big epic showdown that you don't have to think too hard about, right? Like there's a lot of introspection and thinking that goes with characters like Emmett Selk, right? You know, people could argue for days and days about like Emmett Selk's motivations and whether he was lying in this scene or that scene or whatnot. They don't want any of that. They want simple, have fun, you know. Which I don't know if that's what they're actually going to give us, but it seems to be what they're pushing towards. I definitely think they improved narratively over Heavensward. A lot of people, when Heavensward came out, they're like, this is going to be the best expansion for all Final Fantasy XIV because it's the first one. And in a lot of regards, that's been true over the years. But at the same time, not really. Stormblood was a lot of fun. I gave it a lot of shit because we started getting less content. But it was a lot of fun, at least. Like, fights were showy, you know, graphics were fantastic, bosses were fantastic, and that lead up into Shadowbringers, like, I wasn't expecting a lot out of Shadowbringers in the first place. I knew I was going to have more fun, but, you know, not having any expectations made it even more fun and better overall, I think. Like, the game, I guess the game didn't feel stale. They also reworked a lot of jobs and changed tanking, and I can't, like, if I have to look at Shadowbringers from a gameplay perspective, they dumbed down play, and I hate that. Every time they do that, I hate that. You know, like, tanking is so mind-numbingly easy now, it's barely a roll. Sorry to anyone who has trouble tanking and they just start tanking in Shadowbringers, but like, I'm sorry, there's literally no excuse. Like, you get 10 times the enmity of the damage you deal just for having tank stance on. Like, you can literally have a level 60 tank for level 80 characters in best in slot gear. Like, it's absurd. Healing is a lot easier because you have less options for damage dealing. Like, the only thing that can be fun is like shielding and enabling your team, because your DPS rotation is just mind-numbingly boring. And this is good on one hand because it lets more healers, you know, what is it to this job that I have to figure out, and it's, oh, you know, how long can I just, my main button pressed is my damage spell while I heal with my instant cast heals, you know. Can I communicate with my co-healer to have him, you know, like, we rotate basically. I heal the party with my off globals and he heals the party with his off globals. You know, bada bing, bada boom. We cast Declare the whole fight. All in all, though, it's still really boring. I would very much prefer the healer damage rotations from Heavensward or even Stormblood, because they didn't change that much in Stormblood, but, I mean, I really miss Arrow 3, and I miss Stella, and I miss Miasma 2, I miss, it's not Astral Stasis, I think that's the Astral Legends Limit Break 3, is it Celestial Intersection? You know, the Ash like throws up their hand and now it's like a heal over time or a shield and a mitigator and it heals. And it used to extend the duration of all card effects and stun the enemy for 4 seconds. And not just card effects, any beneficial stats effect. It would increase their duration by, I think, I want to say 15 seconds. Might have been 10. I missed when that did that because Asts could stun trash pulls in dungeons. But also, I miss AoE cards. Like, we got a little taste of AoE card right there with Urianger. He drew an AoE Uwer, and if you mouse over it, which I didn't bother to do, but if you mouse over it, it's like increases damage dealt. And I don't know by how much. It's not too much, but like it's a thing, right? Like, and it lasted for 30 seconds, right? Astrologian used to naturally be able to do that with Royal Road. Like, you wanted a balance, obviously, but the arrow or the spear were acceptable, especially after they changed spear to crit rate. But you know, balance is what you want. So you get your balance. You Royal Road it by consuming a Spire or an Uwer. That would let you split its power, but cast it on everyone. So everyone will get a 30-second, you know, 5 plus 5% damage, and then you could extend it, you know, to 45 seconds on everyone or 40 seconds on everyone. And then you had time dilation, so your best DPS, you could crank him up by another 30 seconds or whatever. And, you know, like, I miss old ass buffs so much. Like, yes, they were janky, and the point of them was to get more damage, you know, through not necessarily straightforward means. But there was more utility, and you had more control over what your cards did and how they affected battle. Like, if you wanted to, and a lot of people abuse this for parses, you could double the duration of a single target card to 60 seconds, and then you could put it on someone, time dilate it, so it's up to 80 seconds, and then, you know, Celestial Intersection or whatever it's called, and boom, it would be over, you know, it'd be like 95-second card or 85-second card of 10% more damage. Like, you know, just missed that a lot. Like, they really, really buggered up healers this expansion, and I don't have a lot of hope for them in Endwalker, since we're apparently going to get Astrologian and White Mage are going to be the pure healers, quote-unquote, the regen healers, the reactive healers, and then Sage and Scholar are going to be the proactive healers, you know, with their temporary HP shields. We'll see what happens with that. It won't be any different than when the game only had White Mage and Scholar, right? Like, tons of people have been asking that. I was like, what happens if we get in a party that's Sage or Sage Scholar? It'd be terrible. It won't be ideal, but they'll still be able to heal the handling checks. Man, these credits go on for quite a while. I feel like they put more people in these credits than any other credit in the game. I also feel like they're pulling people who are actually outside of direct work on the game. Like, I think this is all like stuff that comes after and things that are related to Final Fantasy XIV but aren't direct development for Final Fantasy XIV. Like the Primals, that's Sawkin's band, right? Like, they're related to Final Fantasy XIV, and they've put some of the Orchestrion roles in, but whatever. Every time I see Havoc, I just think, man, they help, you know, get Dark Souls out there, or, you know, it's like that comes up every time I start up Dark Souls. Oh, and now we got guest creators. Tetsuya Nomura. Isn't all he did design Gaia? Like, he didn't do anything other than design Gaia, right? If I had to compare raid tiers, a lot of people liked the Shadowbringer raid tier more than the Stormblood raid tier because it's more original to Final Fantasy XIV, despite the fact that it was a giant Final Fantasy VIII love letter. I mean, and reimagined Prime, like it was half reimagined Primals and half Final Fantasy VIII love letter. And for me, I mean, I took a hiatus. Like, I didn't care about it at all. I skipped one of the tiers entirely. For me, the Stormblood raid tier was much more enjoyable and interesting, and had characters I cared about, like Cid and Nero, and Biggs and Wedge, and, you know, Alpha. Oh, here we are, dumped in the Rising Stones. Woo! Over an hour. Let's talk to these people. More beginning than an ending, huh? Amrek gave us a ride back, huh? Possibly. We haven't had our meanwhile scene, come to think of it. He towed the Bonanza, huh? Man, a lot of the city-state leaders really seem to be trying to hammer that home. Like, we don't need you. We swear we don't need you. We can manage without you. We swear. Yes, we already went over this in the meeting. Do we need to go over it again? The answer is no, we don't, but we're gonna. You know, the more I see this heavy elegant armor in the cutscenes, the less I want it on. Yes, we know that. But like, you don't. This is all restatement. I like you, Estinian. Well, duh. Yeah, my anger bleeds through too much. By words, I mean punch him in the face. Does it involve tall structures? For some reason, the game is giving us the shush emote. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace? The Garlean capital. Okay, we're not in the palace, but it's still the Garlean capital. So this is like number what, like 26th? For the meanwhile? That's a cool looking scythe. It's got like rocket boosters on it. I like his new outfit too.
Those Eorzeans certainly are a stubborn bunch. Though I suppose you knew that already.
Although I don't like that, like in his previous outfit we could see Xenos' legs, and now we can't anymore.
My plan to redirect the ether from Cartano came to a rather less than satisfactory conclusion. It was, in many respects, an abject failure. Which does, of course, raise the question of where we are going to procure the requisite amount. The obvious solution would be to draw on resources a little closer to home, though that would require our dreamer to dream a trifle more deeply.
So be it. The dreamer will not complain.
Then let us begin the preparations at once. With the gateway of the gods complete, all that remains is to gather the necessary ether, and our prize shall be within reach. The time has come to fulfill your heart's desire, my desire! To relieve those wretched creatures of their meaningless existence!
While I await you, I shall drink a sea of souls and gorge myself upon the darkened moon. Then you shall come to me, all roiling rage and rancor. And the stars shall bear witness to our final contest.
It sounded vaguely like a dragon, or some sort of large avian. But like there was like a guttural sound, like its gullet, like it was roaring out of its gullet.
As I thought, the ethereal currents have been disturbed here too.
It was the same in Thanalan. Make that every location we surveyed.
And the strength of each current has diminished dramatically, far more than could be attributed to a natural occurrence.
What tidings bringest thou from Dravania?
We took a number of readings, and noticed that the closer we were to the tower, the lower the etheric density became. In short,
The towers are drawing upon the land's ether, which would explain how they were able to carry out the summonings.
Our allies must be informed of this. We should return to the Rising Stones and have Tataru relay our findings to them.
So maybe we should start just blowing up the towers if they're gonna basically do what primals do to the land anyway.
Hear me. Hear me. Hear me. Hear me. Darkness comes, and with it, the end.
It's the white mask.
The fate of the star is in your hands.
She's kind of pretty. I suppose that was Vana. Or Vanette. If you don't like silent T's.
Everything all right back there?
Red moon. Although it's kind of more orange, but yeah, it's supposed to be red or turning red. Maybe it'll be blood red by the time Endwalker gets here. Thus does our final curtain rise. Your steps to guide. Very well, very well. I guess we'll talk up the crew, and then well, that'll be all the story until Endwalker. So all the side Scions are out in the field helping the Grand Companies hold the Talofaroy at bay. Oh, I don't think there's anyone in the solar, but let's go check anyway. Nope, just an Okohai's treaty on the Warring Triad. No other things. Well. Well, I suppose. Oh man, it's been an hour and 16 minutes recording. That's more than enough, I suppose. Next time, I might try to record and show off the Boston Southern Front and the plains of Zadnor, because there's some really cool side stories going on in there that will probably get roped in at some point in Endwalker in some form or another. You know, I just don't know.